But it's water. This is like water.
It's water.
Oh, that's that one stuff we could get to.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
That's just vodka.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
I want to buy this, but I don't want to buy it. Everybody classic ways.
Classic? You can heck it down. Wait,
Well,
how
not
you
the
gonna
classic.
play on YouTube? You gonna get classic.
Bomb Squad out here in
You gonna get that in the shop.
out here.
About to jerk over there. You can't really see it, but we about to jerk over there. It's nighttime.
You might get off.
At the liquor store.
Excuse me, guys. Yeah, excuse me.
Thank you. Buy me some candy. Good candy.
Bomb Squad, Kid Dynamite.
How much is that?
Say something to the camera, Beth.
What's your name? Say your name. Why you gotta do like that?
Beth, say your name.
Fritos. I hear barbecue sauce. Sweet.
Hey, give me, bro. Give me. And you know, we get to night college, JJ from Bomb Squad, about to get off. Shout out to the Giants, doing it big. Shout out to my girl Eileen. Yeah, I love you.
Hey, can I get
Yo, bro. We're out of here. About to get off, you know, repping the Giants. Oh, I did have that. Okay, no, I didn't. Hey, shout out to my girl Eileen, TNT. Shout out to TNT, man. Shout out to Kid Explosive, you know, we finna gas, you know, Boom, J-Tick, Bam Bam, you already know. Shout out to Kaboom, the manager. New member. You already know we stay getting Bam off. Bam, new member.
Yeah, you already know we stay getting
Kick it off, I think.
Yeah, but still. Bomb Squad, though.
Kid Dynamite.
Hey, and tell me why. Alright, so I want to shout out to the Rangers, right? The Rangers, I just want to be like you. Shout out to Day Day, you know. Hey, you know, like this. Spotlight. You know, shout out to Lavelle Phantom. Even though he's an ex-Ranger, he still got off. Still gets off. You know, I like your music and all that stuff. It's good. Alright, we're going to put this shit on YouTube. And I did not say the S word, Mom. Okay? Alright, J-Tick, Bomb Squad.
Hey, Mom. We out.
Give me.
Kid Dynamite. About to get off. Just cut off.
I snatch your brick when I leave that she miss me. Little did she know all I wanted was a quick thing. Never was a geek, I reside in the streets, so I roll with my heat, but that's all I gotta keep. I'm on folk pills, I'm on like and bro, I'm on so geek. I got Kurt baby, I felt like that, and I'm more safe. Hoes can't play, young rich nigga, but I keep it low key. Folk pills, folk bus from, oh so geek. Like, I reside in the streets, so I roll with my heat, but that's all I gotta keep.